Text may either be entered as part of short fields of a form or as part of a long document in an editor. Here are a few techniques that have been used for entering and editing text. NLS was one of the first systems to use a pointing device for text editing. Single or multiple characters specified the command and argument type, and then the position of the mouse specified the location. For example, to delete a word, the user would enter D for delete and then W for word, and then press with the right mouse button over the word. The left mouse button would back up one character, and the middle mouse button would abort the current command. The commands could be entered from the keyboard or by holding down one or more keys on the chord keyset. Using the 5 keys, the keyset could generate 31 characters. Doug Engelbart now demonstrates how this was used.
So I'm putting in an entity called a statement, and that's full of other entities called words. And if I make some mistakes, I can back up a little bit. So I have a statement with some entities' words, and I can do some operations on these. I can copy a word. I can say that word like copy after itself. In fact, that pair of words I like to copy after itself, and I can just do this a few times and get a bit of material there. And there are other entities like text. Say after there, I'd like to copy from that entity point to that point, and it'll copy it. Great. Let's make more statements. I'll say copy that statement, and lo and behold, I have another one. Copy that one, another one. I can even copy groups of statements. I can say after that one, copy the group from there to there. And it does. I can look at that and say, probably goes off the screen. It'd be interesting if I could ask the computer to collapse that, perhaps to show me just the first line of each of those statements. All right, please do that. So I'll say, well, I have this. I don't want them all to be statement 1, so I'll just replace the word there with a 2. And how about that one with a 3? It's just a place to forget how to count.
The Xerox development environment provides string fields that are used in panels of controls known as a form window. These fields allow the user to specify an ASCII text string value. Visually, string fields are distinguished by the trailing colon. In addition to the standard selection and editing commands, there are 2 interesting accelerators that work on both string and numeric fields. First, if the user clicks the left mouse button over the name of the field will be selected and the input focus placed at the end of the field. If the user clicks the right mouse button instead, the text will be deleted and the input focus placed. Second, the next key may be used to move the input focus from one field to another. This deletes the contents of the next field. If Shift Next is used, the contents are not deleted.
In Star or Viewpoint, text fields are found on property and option sheets. The field may be read-only or writable. If a field is writable, it will be boxed. Text may contain multilingual characters, for example, Japanese, Chinese, Cyrillic, as well as all of the European languages. Star and Viewpoint do not use the copy-paste model. Instead, it uses a moded copy model. In this model, the source is first selected, then the copy key is pressed. Next, the cursor changes shape to show we are in this mode. Finally, the user selects the destination. This is much faster than copy-paste. The move command is used instead of cut-paste. It uses a similar but different cursor as feedback. The copy and move commands are used for all objects, text, graphics, icons, etc. When text is moved or copied, the selection level will be used to determine its final position. When you copy a sentence, the copied sentence will be appended to the end of the destination sentence instead of after the character pointed to. If a paragraph is copied, it will be appended to the end of the destination paragraph.
Macintosh allows any kind of data to be edited using the same set of commands. We will use text for this demonstration. To delete, press, drag, and release to select the desired data, then choose Cut from the Edit menu. To move, press, drag, and release to select the desired data, choose Cut from the Edit menu. Click where you wish the data to be inserted, then choose Paste from the Edit menu. To duplicate, press, drag, and release to select the desired data. Choose Copy from the Edit menu. Click where you wish the data to be inserted, Then choose Paste as many times as you wish. To replace, press, drag, and release to select the desired data, then simply type in the new data. Or press, drag, and release to select the desired data, and paste in the last thing that was cut or copied.
With few exceptions in CEDAR, all text type-in, including form fill-in, is managed by the Tioga document editor. Fields can have multiple fonts and hierarchical structure if desired. Tioga is a modeless editor with a click-to-type user interface allowing text insertion at any point in a document. Text can be copied from other Tioga windows simply by holding down a keyboard key during text selection.
This is an OpenLook test field. In all text in OpenLook, clicking the Select mouse button selects the input focus and makes a zero-width selection. Spans of text may be selected by either wiping through with the Select button depressed or by adjusting the selection by clicking the Adjust mouse button. Double-clicking Select selects a word. All selections are made pending delete so that input replaces the contents of the selection. The standard keyboard accelerators for cut, copy, and paste can be used in text fields, as with all text in OpenLook.
Motif text widgets may be configured for single-line or multi-line text entry. Keyboard bindings are provided for common navigation and editing operations. As with all Motif widgets, these bindings may be overridden on a per-widget, class, or application basis. By default, arrow keys move by single characters, control arrows by words. Bindings for forward and backward deletion of characters and words are provided. The return key provides a new line in multi-line text and triggers the activate callbacks of single-line text.
Here we see a single line text entry field in a dialog box. You can see, just as in the other deck windows presentation of a text entry field, the blinking cursor shows the current text insertion point. Arrow keys will move the insertion cursor left and right. The mouse can be used to select text and put it in pending delete state. Any typing will then remove that selected text. And the tab key can be used to move from field to field. When you tab into a field, the entire field is selected and put into a pending delete state.